You sure you want to do our secret handshake?
Yeah.
A bit silly.
Ooh, you're aggressive with it today.
Brooklyn Beckham was born into Hollywood. Being the son of one of the most popular soccer players of all time, David Beckham, and Spice Girl Victoria Beckham, he has literally always been in the public eye. He's enjoyed plenty of different pursuits as he tries to find his own niche. He's been introduced into the world of professional modeling. He also dabbled as a photographer, and now more recently, he's attempting to enter the world of professional chefs. And now he's finally gotten married to his girlfriend of 2 years. At 23 years old, he married Nicola Peltz in a stunning and lavish ceremony that made headlines. Today we're covering Brooklyn Beckham. Tomorrow though, you decide. Let us know in the comments down below who you think we should cover on the next episode of Where Are They Now. While you're down there, it would be lovely if you could like this video so we know to keep making more videos similar to this one. Brooklyn Beckham was born in 1999 in London, England. He was born to the famous soccer player David Beckham and his pop star wife from the Spice Girls, Victoria Beckham. It was often thought that he was named Brooklyn because that's where he was conceived, but in his mother's autobiography, she stated that she and her husband just simply liked the name. Victoria then said that it was only after they chose the name that they, quote, realized how appropriate it was because it was in New York that she found out she was pregnant and where David came after the World Cup. Brooklyn spent his childhood living between Madrid, Spain and Los Angeles, while his father played for Real Madrid and LA Galaxy. Brooklyn is the eldest of 3 younger siblings, brothers Romeo James and Cruz David, and a sister named Harper Seven. In December 2004, Brooklyn got baptized with his brother Romeo in a private chapel on the grounds of their parents' mansion. Brooklyn Beckham's grandparents are Elton John, David Furnish, and Elizabeth Hurley. When he was 15 years old, despite being the son of some of the biggest stars ever, Brooklyn worked weekend shifts at a coffee shop in West London. In 2014, when Brooklyn was 15, he began modeling professionally, appearing in editorials and on covers for Vogue China, Miss Vogue, the New York Times Style magazine, and Days Korea. He was also a brand ambassador for Huawei and its smartphones, alongside Scarlett Johansson, Karlie Kloss, and Henry Cavill. A year later, he was photographed for the Burberry campaign. His hiring for the campaign was met with a bit of criticism, however, by quite a few photographers. Famed celebrity photographer Chris Lloyd called Burberry's decision to employ Brooklyn a, quote, devaluation of photography and sheer nepotism, while a high fashion photographer, John Gorrigan, stated, quote, David and Victoria Beckham represent sheer willpower, and then their 16-year-old son comes along and it's sheer nepotism. He hasn't done it from hard work, which is counterintuitive to what his parents represent. Also during this time, Brooklyn began dating Chloe Grace Moritz. They dated on and off for years and even attended the 2016 Democratic National Convention together to support Hillary Clinton. Their relationship was a bit rocky, and so in 2018, they decided to end it for good. In 2017, Brooklyn announced that he was going to try to pursue a photography degree at Parsons School of Design at the New School in New York. After less than a year in the US and in school, Brooklyn published his first book of photography called What I See. The critical reception was less than kind. In fact, it was mostly negative. To the press associate before the book's release, Brooklyn stated, quote, I carry a camera around with me absolutely everywhere, so I don't miss a potential photographic moment. Having said that, I don't love being photographed myself. I accept it because I have grown up with it. I really am not a model. I have been lucky enough to have been asked to do some amazing shoots in front of the camera, and while I prefer to be behind it, I have learned a huge amount from the photographers I've worked with. Although the book received non-flattering reviews, the publishers, Penguin Random House, defended their decision to work with Brooklyn by stating, quote, What I See is a book for teenagers, by a teenager, which gives Brooklyn's fans broader insight into his world through his unique and creative perspective. Teenagers' lives are filled with the visual image, and we know Brooklyn's photos resonate with his huge young following, who avidly follow his life through his photography. One photo from What I See was criticized for being particularly terrible. A photo of an African elephant where the animal was absolutely shrouded in darkness and you couldn't really see it at all. Just kind of a bad photograph. It was roasted on Twitter too, with users lampooning the, quote, terrible photographs and even worse captions. Either way, it doesn't quite matter how you stand. If you appreciate the book, then it's worth criticism. Art is too subjective to just throw it away even if you don't agree with it. However, less than a year after he published the photography book, Brooklyn decided to drop out of Parsons School of Design and return to the UK, where there he did an internship with British photographer Rankin. Although he publicly publicly stated that he deferred the rest of his degree because of his internship. A source told Elle magazine that, quote, "It sounds as if he was truly homesick and was feeling lonely out there. He adores his family. In the end, it was the lure to come back to them all that swung it, and the prospect of a terrific internship." It seemed though that Brooklyn's pursuit of photography became more of a hobby because in 2021, he switched tunes and decided to try his hand at becoming a professional chef. He created an online video series called Cooking with Brooklyn. It attracted criticism when it was revealed online that it took 62 professionals to create each episode at a reported cost of $100,000 each. Critics also pointed out that Brooklyn hasn't been to school to be a chef, nor has he been professionally trained at all. Chefs notoriously go through an insane amount of training that takes years to complete, with internships under more renowned chefs. And in 2020, Brooklyn officially started dating Nicola Peltz. She's an heiress with a business mogul father, and she's an actor in the Transformers movies and Bates Motel. They confirmed their relationship in early 2020 before getting engaged in July of that same year. They decided to get engaged because it seemed obvious to them both just how strong their feelings are for each other. Brooklyn proposed in a beautiful little promenade covered in Nicola's favorite flowers and champagne. Apparently, when he asked the question, Nicola was crying so much that he had to ask again, so nervous that he wasn't even sure whether it was happy tears or panic tears. Luckily for the couple, she did obviously say yes, and the two became engaged to one another. Just recently, on the 9th of April, Brooklyn and Nicola married in a traditional Jewish ceremony in Palm Beach, Florida. They're both partially Jewish through their father's side and wanted to celebrate that aspect of themselves on their special day. They also decided not to change Nicola's last name, but they both decided to change their names to celebrate each other equally. Nicola Peltz Beckham and Brooklyn Peltz Beckham were married in an extremely lavish wedding with some of the most gorgeous dresses I've ever seen. The guest list was obviously star-studded with Elton John, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and Snoop Dogg. Nicola adorned a massive diamond wedding ring, and the budget for the day itself was akin to the price of a moderately sized private island, even though it took place in Nicola's $80 million family holiday home. After the wedding happened, both Brooklyn and Nicola haven't been shy about adoring each other on their respective Instagrams. Intermingled with Brooklyn's posts about food are loving tributes to his new wife. Similarly, Nicola has posted a bunch about all the things that Brooklyn does for her, like driving her to set at 5 a.m. to shoot one of her movies. Fun fact, according to reports, there were very strict rules for the wedding, with guests on a complete phone ban, which meant no taking any photos of the impressive day and absolutely no social media. Totally makes sense, obviously. If I were that high profile, I'd want to control just what's being showed from my wedding as well. Anyways guys, that's all I've got for today for Brooklyn Beckham. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Where Are They Now? I've been your host Sierra. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like our videos so you can stay updated on when we post. See ya.